Hey guys, how are you doing today? Thank you very much for being here. And please welcome Sarah. Hi, Sarah, how are you?
Hello, I'm so well, thank you.
I'm so excited about this topic, and usually I'm excited about all of the topics, but witchiness, I think it's something that emerges, and I think we need to tap more into that, and I think we need to clear a lot around even the word, right, and what we
Yeah,
associate with a witch. So please do tell before we go into the whole topic, how did you ended up where you are right now in your business and in your life, and what what does a witch mean, or being a
yeah.
witch means to you?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so for me, for most of my life, for a good part of 30 years, I was very deeply unhappy. I was very sensitive, would pick up on energies, but I didn't know anything about the spiritual world. I was suffering through a chronic drug addiction at the time, toxic relationships, it was just toxicity after toxicity. And when I came into recovery nearly 7 years ago, I had a spiritual awakening, started learning about all these new things in the spiritual realms and witches and things. And when I came into business a few years ago, it was a spiritual coach I was working with at the time who took me through a regression because I didn't have any confidence in my business at all. I didn't know how I was going to show up live. I didn't know what to do. And I was terrified of people hearing me speak, and I was terrified of the persecution of that. So that's why I'm really passionate about this work, which for me isn't probably what a lot of us might think of. A lot of us might think straight away of black magic and demons and things. For me, it's embodying, the spiritual aspect of ourselves and really using the power of intention to co-create our realities.
Oh, wow, I love that. I love that. So the witch is not someone who is living alone in the woods, wearing dark clothes and
Yeah,
cooking something in the pot, right?
exactly.
But it is interesting, isn't it, how we from early age through fairy tales and stuff like that are really conditioned not to tap
Yeah.
into our spirituality, and how, we tell children how stupid that is, that monsters are below our beds, and
Yeah.
that they are seeing something what we can't see anymore, or the dog is chasing something what we can't see, right? It's so interesting, and I even get goosebumps.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah.
think we need to listen more to that side of us. We need to listen more to our intuition, and at the end of the day, doesn't really matter how we call we spirituality, or witchcraft, or just religion, because I think there is somehow interconnected,
Yes.
but it can help us a lot, and not just in our private life, but also, as you mentioned, in our business, right?
Yeah.
um
Huge.
Huge, yeah. So you went through yourself the whole process, what you actually teach and do with your clients right now, right? So
Yeah.
obviously that's why you think it's so powerful. So how was the process, or what was the point, where was the point where you thought, oh my god, this is freaking amazing, this is something I need to teach?
Yeah, so it was that very first regression that I went through myself, where I was taken to a lifetime where I lost my confidence. I was just a herbalist, and a healer, and I was dobbed in by my sister in that lifetime. I lost my
Mm.
husband and my child,
Oh.
and it was a horrible experience. And this is why I'm so passionate about this, is because the trauma carries through to our current lifetimes. And this is why, especially when we come into business, and that's when we find out what our real fears and blocks are, and we're wondering, why am I so afraid to show up?
Mhm.
It's because on that deep soul level, we fear being persecuted all over again. So it's such an important wound for us to clear as a collective.
um I had a similar experience, and it's not a secret that we talked before the recording, right? And yes, I had the experience where they brought me back, and it gave me so insights and answers why I feel about people how I feel, and why I handle certain situations as I do, why are I most likely why I don't have kids by the age where I'm at right now. And it is so freaking powerful. So we are actually sabotaging, right, ourselves according our past
Yes.
lives. It's mind
Yes.
blowing. I think if someone never heard about it, I think it is mind blowing. But so that was the moment where you got this regression session, and then you realized, oh my God, there are so many things. Is there also included? Is it how you start with your clients? Is it with the regression
Yeah.
session or? Mm?
Yeah, so with most of my clients, I can tell very quickly that that block is there, and I like to start with that regression because that clears up a lot, and then I know what we're left with in the way of blocks and beliefs through this lifetime's conditioning.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So
Mhm.
your idea client is there where, you know, I started my business, but something is still stopping me, and I see some kind of pattern that, okay, I have my plan to go live, but I don't. I have my plan to put out authentic posts, but I don't. I just there, but something holds
Yes.
me back. Mm-hmm.
It literally does pull us back when we're in this deep wounding. And I know a lot of women feel, as I did, this deep calling to do something really big in the world. But this block, this wounding literally stifles our growth, and we stay here because we don't want to shine too brightly. We think it's bad. You know, we think our communities will judge us and cast us out. So it's just an amazing opportunity for growth, soul level growth, by doing a regression. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And what are the miracles? What this system brought to your clients? Sometimes, you know, I have that. Oh my God! I even, you know, even surprise myself with this and that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this went really well. What are one of those amazing
Yeah.
stories?
What I love about it is I've seen it help with confidence firsthand with me. I was debilitatingly shy. I've had other women with the exact same thing. They don't want to show up because they think they're going to be judged. They've started going live. Others have feared actually working with clients. And then after the sessions, all of a sudden they're working with clients. And it's just amazing to watch people blossom.
Oh, oh,
Just
I loved
amazing.
it. What do I need to believe in? Because if I guess if this is a new concept for someone, you know, even grasping the idea to having a past life or that
Yeah.
affects us, do I need to believe in something to make this happen, or?
That's a really interesting question. I love that because science is starting to back up what we humans have known for years, which is even the traumas from our ancestors are carried through our DNA, and it's literally like scars inside of our own body. So the way this works is, whether you believe it or not, time is malleable. And that means and science is starting to teach this as well, is that even just acknowledging the possibility of something happening in that past life, and even if you visualize it and go into, you know, imagination, they're saying that that's enough to clear this process. So you don't have to believe in past lives, even though a lot of the work I do, I'm very big on the past, present, and future coexisting at once. So we can heal the past and the future, you know, in the now. That's another topic. But it's so powerful. And no, you don't have to fully believe at all, because it still works.
So you just need to have the faith, or you just need to, maybe that's not the best marketing, but you just need to be
Just open to
just open. Yeah.
the
Okay. Yeah.
experience.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
I had more of the desperate enough to try something new, right? Because unfortunately
Absolutely.
we do things most likely too long. We suffer too long
Yeah.
until we try something new, or until we say, okay, this is enough. So we are too used to bad things, right? And if you are trying to move forward in your business, but you start to see these patterns, that fear and stepping out into the spotlight might be your problem, then and obviously
Absolutely.
we are here for a business, right? We are here to earn money. So if you cannot really deliver one-on-one consultations, and you are a coach, there is obviously something blocking you, and your business and the goals why you started your business. Yeah. Okay, so we don't really need to be too spiritual, but still you will be, or you will become, right? Because this is from my own experience, it's so mind-blowing when you see visions and it just suddenly starts to all come together and make fully sense.
Exactly.
So you bring people through the past life regression, and after that other steps, or is that going back and back and back and back?
I always like to start with that one. That's usually the only one we need to do. Sometimes I will recommend taking them back through, but mostly from there, then we start with this life, and we clear, the beliefs and conditionings from this life, which a lot of the time are attached to other timelines and lifetimes. But the way I work is clearing, oath, vows, and contracts across all of those timelines in my sessions.
Wow.
Very powerful work.
Does it need to be painful, or does it need to be, some people believe that we can only release stuff when we experience the pain again, or when we, it's like crying my eyes out for the next 10 days or something, right?
No, I've never seen anyone suffer like that. I have seen most of my clients cry, which I'm honored, because I believe that's a really beautiful experience. It's very cathartic, and it's releasing those energies. So to me, that's a good thing. But most of the time it's crying because they've connected in so deeply with another version of themselves, with the pain from another lifetime. But we clear that pain up. So I've never had anyone come to me, even days later, saying, I'm still holding on to this, it hurts. Like it's always usually within that 24-hour period. They're just so grateful for the experience, actually.
I had the same. It's more like the release, right? That the relief that it's gone, and sometimes even you are there and it's like, I used to have this and I don't have it anymore, right? So you realize that you don't have the connection to the pattern anymore. It's really, if you never had that, I highly recommend to reach out to Sarah. It's really powerful, and it changes everything, even in that minutes or hours or during the session. I love that. I love that. So these witch wounds and the past life experiences then basically hold us back, and then you can bring people through to release those. What are the other effects? Because I guess that's not just a business, right, where you see the change.
It creates a really deep change, and it filters into all areas of our lives. This can improve trust in relationships. If we were betrayed in another life, which a lot of us were through being, like dobbed in for being a witch, it can clear up that betrayal and lack of trust in others. That can improve relationships. Money stories get better, because it's okay to now step into your power and receive compensation for your work in the world. It's just, I love to watch it, because every woman's that I work with story is so unique and different, and the benefits are so unique to them too. And it's just amazing. I'm so grateful to be able to take them through. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Is there a story you can share with us? It's like what they experienced and how that affected their life, or why they did what they do.
Yes. Yes. There's so many. I'm trying to run through some. So one lady had, a couple of ladies have had literally like money come to them, like a big wad of money come to them within 24 hours after a session with me. Another lady, within our sessions together over a week, she went from being really fearful of working with a certain client, and then that next week she was working with those particular clients, and I'm like, that is huge. So
What was the story behind it? What was the past life story behind it, or the underlying issue?
I'm trying to fully remember, but it was something to do with serving women that were older than her.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't quite remember what the connection was there, but I love how there's always a connection either to our childhood in this lifetime or another lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite profound.
Amazing, amazing. It's so mind-boggling, mind-blowing, and exciting. It's like, oh, it's so cool that finally you can find, right? Because after a certain time in self-development, and yeah, as you mentioned, right, it's like our business is the biggest self-development journey you can go on, I guess, after kids, but I don't have kids, so maybe that's something we can talk about. But I think the business is like you are pushing those boundaries all the time, and you try to find the ways how you can solve it or make it better, or why you are not going where you want to go. At the end of the day, you end up in a place where, or I did at least, where it's like I can't find anything else, but there is still something, and that's where your work comes into place, where it's like, yes, there is a reason, and if you feel like that, guys, I highly recommend reach out to Sarah and start working with her, because there is a certain point where you cannot really find anything, but there is still residues from different lives. I love that. So you offered an amazing freebie, the 10 blocks which can sabotage your success. What are those blocks? How can you remove that, or what is the freebie about?
So the freebie, it's specifically tailored to introvert women in business, although it would help anyone experiencing these blocks. So I can't think of all 10 of them off the top of my head, but they're very closely associated with the witch wound blocks we find, which is a fear of showing up, fear of judgment, fear of persecution, fear of being heard in the online space, and feeling silly because someone thinks we're an imposter.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I don't know if that's your Zoom that's cutting out, or mine. Oh, there you are. And each day, sorry, it's a PDF. It's a PDF, and it takes you through what the blocks are, how they might be manifesting in your life, and maybe some tips on how you could clear those.
I love that. I love that. And guys, if you are a VIP member, then we have a treat for you, because Sarah will bring us through a past life clearing. So you will experience firsthand how that it is. So go to the VIP membership part, log in, and it will be there. If you are not a member, I think this is the time you join us. What is the way? How can people find you? How can people start working with you?
So the business I own is called the Goddess Alchemy Academy. So literally, if you pop that in Google, if you pop it in Facebook, my website or my Facebook page would come up, and even Instagram. So you can connect with me on those platforms, email me, anything. I'm there.
I love that. I love that. Do you have different programs, I assume, or are you working only one-on-one with people, or do you have a group opportunity?
I'm shifting more heavily into group programs. So I've just opened up doors to a mastermind. Actually, it's called the Rising Enchantress, and that's specifically for introvert, spiritual and empathic women in business. It's a 12-month immersion Oh, amazing.
Amazing.
Really excited about it. It's on the website.
I love that these days, right? We started back in the days. You started approximately the same time your business than I did, and back in the days, if you remember, everything was 3 months, right? It's like all
Yes.
these group programs were 3 months, and I think the industry goes toward 4, 6, and now the 12 months, because that's where the magic happens, right? In 3 months, you
Absolutely.
can build a foundation, and then you really
Yes.
can, fill the gaps or do some change. But actually, I love that it goes toward long term. Let's work on it long term. Don't expect that after one session your word will just change. It will, it can, but at the end of the day, we are working from habits. We are working with,
Yeah.
even after this, right, multiple lifetimes
Yeah.
and wounds and stuff. So at the end of the day, the longer you can hold someone's hand, the better, and the more, I guess, the
Yes.
client gets out of that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. There's such power in having someone hold space for you. Really is.
Yeah, and I think we kind of lost that, right? Because
Yes.
back in the days, there were the women's circles, and before television
Exactly.
times,
Yeah.
you had those. My mom told me a story about. One of her, I think her grandmother, yes, her grandmother, and she, as a little girl, was sitting there on the porch, and grandma was doing whatever, from the garden, picked up stuff, and then the other ladies from the village, from the community, came to her, younger adults, right? And it's like, my mom was like, everyone was complaining about the husbands, and my grandmother just sat there and, oh, my girl, this is what you should do. And we don't have that really anymore,
No,
right? there are things
exactly.
there are things where you cannot really get
Mm.
the support anymore from your
Yeah,
family, or there are things what your
exactly.
family doesn't really understand, right?
Yes.
Show me a business owner, an entrepreneur woman who works online, who has a husband who totally understands what she's doing.
Mm.
And I know
Mm.
that from my experience and from my clients, that it's like, oh yeah, you do your thing, right? And oh yeah,
Yes.
you sit all day in front of the computer. And I'm like, really like hearing when they tell others what I'm doing, right? It's like, okay, let's see. So I think it is really important, and comes back
Yes.
to the masterminds and the
Yes.
12-month programs, that you have a circle where people understand you, that you have a circle where people
Mm.
can help you and hold your hand. And even if it's just a chatting about what's going on, right? That's
Exactly.
that's so powerful. I love that.
It
I
really is.
it really
Yes.
I love that. So if someone you know goes away from today's call, what is the key thing what you want them to bring with them? And if this is the only thing they remember, then this is it.
Mm. Mm. I would say that healing on so many layers is always possible, no matter where you are right now, no matter where you've come from. If you want something, I believe you can get it. We're only limited by our own thinking. Yeah.
I love that. And you can change that. And you can change that.
Yes.
And that's the most powerful. So ladies, let's do this. Let's don't suffer longer
Mm.
as you need anymore. There are people out there like Sarah who can really bring you change in all aspects of your business. If you're just listening to our podcasts, we are by, I think, 30 plus ladies, 30 plus methods, 30 plus different
Yeah.
angles, and just choose whatever resonates with you, and let's grow our businesses together.
Yeah.
Let's spread our magic, and
Yeah.
let's work
Yeah.
together on a better world, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very, very
Thank you.
much for being here. Have an amazing
Thank
day.
you.
And guys, reach out to Sarah. The links are everywhere. Let's start this. Thank you. Bye.